Well, good afternoon, VetForum. It's a pleasure to be here. It's been a pretty crazy year since we took the stage at VetForum last year to talk about how to innovate. And so I'm really excited to get into the topic of today's talk, what comes after innovation. But before we do that, I'd love to just do a quick recap of what we talked about last year. We talked about my sister, Katie. Katie's wanted to be a vet since she was 5 years old. And she worked really hard her whole life to pull off that dream. Since then, Katie's found nothing but joy in veterinary medicine. Almost, anyway, because there is no joy in writing medical records for 2 hours past the end of every shift. Which is why 5 years ago, I followed Katie into the clinic to see what I could do to help. This led to the first of 3 rules that I presented on innovation. The first of which was to find an actual problem, which documentation clearly is. It's duplicate work, it's burning doctors out, and it's costing clinics loads of money. That's why our team got to work trying to solve this problem for years, long before it was cool, iterating from manual documentation tools to increasingly automated products. This was not glamorous work. This was my co-founder, Alina, and I coding alone in our parents' basements. Slowly going broke as each new product failed to achieve any degree of commercial success. Until March of 2023, that is, when I got a text from Katie as she left the clinic on time, actually for the first time, thanks to ScribeNote. This led to innovation rule number 2, iterate. You got to be willing to spend a decade figuring it out. Now, what we figured out was how to completely automate Katie's records. Now, Katie could fully focus on her patients and clients, while ScribeNote took care of the rest. This led to innovation rule number 3, solve a problem for just one person. It took us 3 years to solve the problem for Katie. And in the years since, we've scaled to help doctors at hundreds of clinics, and in the years to come, thousands. But you don't get to thousands until you solve for one. Now, doing these things with no fanfare for years eventually puts you on a path to what comes after innovation. But before we get into that, I'd love to introduce, for the first time on stage ever, the one person who we pioneered AI scribing for. Please welcome my big sister, Dr. Katie Gallagher.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Wow, I never expected any degree of fame when I got into vet med. Let's start with a show of hands, and please keep your hands up. How many of you in the audience are practicing small animal veterinarians? Mixed animal veterinarians? Large animal veterinarians? Any other veterinarians? Any animals out there? I saw one. Not so many. I'm guessing many of our colleagues are doing what they do best, patient care. And when most people think about patient care, this is what they think of: smiles, puppies, rainbows, and butterflies. Let me tell you, I wish this was the majority of my day. Our days actually look an awful lot more like this, with a sprinkling of the occasional puppy, and I don't just mean pee. This keeps us on our toes. There is never a dull moment in vet med. Never a dull moment, and some days, not even a single moment. This is why, at best, clinical practice has always been a balancing act: efficiency or client experience, work-life balance or completion of all the day's tasks. Something always had to give. One of the most important aspects of practice to me that I refuse to give on has always been providing value, taking time with clients, getting them to understand what we are doing and why, and making sure they feel listened to and partnered with during their appointment, building that very important relationship. This is why my medical records have always been my last priority. I've always felt it was more important to take the time scheduled to provide the best possible client experience instead of rushing out of the room to finish my paperwork. This is where the story of ScribeNote really begins. Those first few years after school, I was living at home to save money, and in late 2019, Ryan asked to shadow me at the clinic to figure out why I was spending so many hours there after. So I brought him in to be a fly on the wall on a very busy day. And since this is a photo of Ryan at age 21, I figured he needed some real-world experience anyway. At the end of that day, we sat down to finish my records for at least an hour, but more likely 2. And Ryan turned to me and said, "Your job is so inefficient. You do everything twice." I responded, "That's the way it is. Always has been, always will be. There is no solution. It's just part of the job." On the spot, Ryan said, "There must be a way to capture the discussion in the exam room and turn that into a medical note. Give me 10 years. I'll solve this problem for you." And here we are, way less than 10 years later. Now I use ScribeNote to capture every minute of conversation in appointments and on the phone. So do my technicians and the other doctors in my practice. It has markedly improved the mental energy that I have at the end of the day. Being a veterinarian is not a job for the faint of heart. It is extremely complex with difficult conversations, cases. It is stressful, exhausting, frustrating, but also extremely rewarding. As you can see, the building relationships and the lasting impressions that we have on our clients. And thankfully, it's an easier job now than it was just 5 years ago because of ScribeNote.
Thank you, Katie. That was awesome. Now, I swear we're actually going to get into what comes after innovation, but before we do, I'd love to linger on that closing note. That graphic that Katie had on screen is actually our mission statement: to cherish and protect the human-animal bond by improving the lives of the veterinary professionals who make it possible. These aren't just words to us. We take them so seriously that our incredible co-founder, Alina, spent many hours, usually at the end of the really long days we have running this company, to capture that message on our office kitchen wall. This isn't for show. This is for substance. Every time one of our teammates walks into the kitchen, they get reminded of 2 things. 1, the human-animal bond is profound, and 2, our work impacts that bond. Katie just shared many touching letters from the clients that she helps. We get them too. Internally, we have a wall of love, and it grows every time we hear about how we've changed one of our customers' lives. Here's how we think about that impact. We help vets. Vets help pets, and pets make life great. Thus, helping vets is our pathway to impacting the human-animal bond. That's why we're here today. We want to help more vets so that they can help more pets and life can get better for everyone. That's why we spent so much of the last year making it incredibly easy to partner with ScribeNote to help vets across your group. Easy is 3 simple concepts that come together as quite the treat. It starts with customer obsession. Customer obsession means inventing on your customer's behalf with game-changing features like callbacks, because there's more to notes than soaps, draggy-droppy, the easiest way to get your notes into any PIMS, Teams mode for the whole care team, automatic veterinary dental records, another world's first, one-click client summaries, and our new AI writing assistant, which brings AI beyond just recording. We did this all under extreme constraint. In the past year, we've grown to automate more than 1.5 million medical records, and we're just getting started. Customer obsession means a team of people who are passionate about the work that we do. It means sending everyone on our team to conferences to meet and better understand our customers. It means sending our team into clinics to shadow doctors. An homage to ScribeNote's roots, yes, but critical to understanding how the products we build fit into our customers' world. It's no wonder that our customer success metrics are industry-leading. And one more thing. ScribeNote is set to launch the most generous free plan in the veterinary software industry in January 2025. We're removing cost as a constraint to getting home on time. Next up, we have Enterprise Delight. Now, ScribeNote is unmatched in the enterprise. We start by having really easy to track ROI metrics that are available in dashboards for the entire upper management team. We make it easy for your operations teams to score efficiency wins, while making it easy for your IT and legal teams to have peace of mind with our custom data retention policies. We aspire to have the best, most publicly verifiable security posture in the industry. Our SOC 2 Type 1 compliance efforts and readiness is expected in November, and our SOC 2 Type 2 compliance readiness is expected in early 2025. Our single sign-on and multi-factor authentication projects are also expected in early 2025. And while we talked a lot about customer obsession, we also know that in the enterprise, adoption starts with management and implementation teams. That's why we work on your cadence. We accommodate key requests at the drop of a hat, and we don't rest until everyone in your group who interacts with us is delighted. All these facts help ScribeNote lead one of the most successful AI rollouts in the veterinary industry. After finding an average time savings of 70 minutes per doctor per day, we worked with a leading group comprised of over 300 clinics to scale efficiency at their organization. We rolled out to more than 85% of their clinics in less than 6 months, which was 250% faster than initially targeted. And in the process, we built up a lot of muscle. We have a really easy onboarding process equipped with one-pagers, effortless asynchronous and live training sessions, great account management tooling, and rollout tooling as well. But of all things, customer obsession, enterprise delight, we think these things sit on top of the most important thing, long-term orientation. I just want to share 3 quick notes on this topic before what comes after innovation. Number 1, motivation matters. We didn't get into AI scribing because it looked like a trendy new opportunity to cash in. We were at this for years, going broke in the basement for a reason. And that reason is that we believed veterinarians deserved better, and if we worked hard enough for long enough, that we could deliver. We did, but anyway, number 2, one of the most underappreciated aspects of our business in the past year has been our capitalization structure. All that growth and innovation that you just heard about, I have something to share on it. Unlike most startups who finance their early growth by raising money first, we did things the hard way, running an efficient, capital-constrained business so that when it was time to raise growth capital, we could do it on the best footing for the long term. All that growth and innovation you just heard about was accomplished on a $230,000 pre-seed round. We financed our operations on cash flow and sweat equity. Our team, hyper-motivated, albeit sometimes exhausted, is as motivated as ever. But I have some really exciting news to share about the strength of where we are as a company. ScribeNote is now one of the best-funded technology startups in the industry. We just closed an $8.2 million seed round, and the press went live in amazing publications like Forbes and Reuters today. The round was led by Andreessen Horowitz, aka A16Z, one of the best investors in the world. They're famous for backing companies like Facebook, Airbnb, Instacart, Instagram, long before they were household names. They only try to invest in the best of the best, so we're honored to be among their portfolio. Now, why this matters is what it helps us do for our customers and our partners. all the things that ScribeNote's already been doing great, we're going to get a whole lot better at. We're moving faster than ever, and we're just super excited. The other thing that this helps us do is be unmatched in the enterprise. You now know, no matter how big a group you are, that you can count on ScribeNote to scale up to exceed your expectations, and that we'll have the resources to be around for the long term. But of all things, long-term orientation is best captured by what it means to us. This is a part I've actually never shared publicly. Bit nervous to do so, but I was inspired to after going out for dinner and touring clinics with one of our group partners. I was out for dinner late one night with one of the leaders of the group, and he asked me, what are we trying to do here? Like, what is the point of ScribeNote? And I was a few beers deep, so I told him to suspend disbelief for a moment. And when I finished telling him what I'm about to tell all you, he turned to me and said, man, I wish every one of our vets heard that. And so, well, I haven't gotten to take you up on it yet. Dr. Brian, if you're watching the film version of this one's for you. Everybody in the audience, please suspend disbelief for a moment. Our office Wi-Fi password is pets in space. The key idea behind this thinking is as follows. If humanity is going to have a long-term future, we need to figure out how to build sustainable colonies on other planets. Now stay with me. The idea behind this is as follows. It's just history. Humans have only been around for 200,000 years. The dinosaurs were around for 165 million years. Has anybody seen any dinosaurs lately? Anywho, eventually we're going to have to back up the biosphere. But don't worry, other companies with deeper pockets than us are currently focused on making this possible. Well, what is this humanity thing anyway? Of course, it's the people. But our view at ScribeNote is that it's also their pets. Our proof? The internet. Perhaps the greatest distillation of human consciousness of all time. Open it up for 5 minutes and try not to find a pet photo. This is because pets are a big part of what makes humans great. And so some company, at some point very far in the future, is going to have to figure out how to extend the human-animal bond to the stars. Now hang on, we know this is going to take a while. Right now, we're simply focused on making the best veterinary software possible. But if some company is going to figure this out someday, we aspire to be that company. And while this is purely aspirational, we think it sets an important tone for how we operate our business. Number one, it reminds us that we always prioritize long-term innovation over short-term gain. And number two, it helps us think bigger about what's possible today. We take this so seriously that we just commissioned a 375 square foot mural of this concept for our office. And soon, every time a ScribeNote looks up, they're going to get reminded of the future that we seek to build. Which leads to the topic of this talk. What comes after innovation? Trick question. Nothing. Don't stop. If you're trying to build a great company, there is no after. There is only the relentless pursuit of a better future. And so, to Katie, thanks for giving our team the gift of a mission. To vets, thank you for the work that you do and the time of our lives serving you. To potential partners, if you're looking for an efficiency game changer that your vets, care teams, and bosses will love, let's talk. And finally, to pets, woof woof, meow. Thank you for the life we share. We'll see you in space.